Good morning. Let's get right into it. Let's get right into it. Um, I just woke up, just took a shower, didn't even eat, but it doesn't matter. If you're joining this stream, this is something I do occasionally. We're gonna be finishing up the app we started a few days ago. So let's jump right into it. No time to diddy daddle here. 2 days ago we started this app. Right now all we have is an image and some text. What we're gonna be doing today is we're gonna be opening up a new view controller. We're going to be adding a table view with a list of images and catchphrases or complaints. And then what we're going to do is the user, when they click on the cell of the table view, right? When they click on the column, or well, the row actually, when they click on the row in the table view, it should take them to essentially the screen we're looking at right now, which is the image and the catchphrase. This is very simple, guys. I'm not gonna overcomplicate things. The first thing I want to do though is I said that I don't want to use the storyboards, because usually when you're working in a big organization, and also I'm sorry, I'm showing you guys the wrong screen here. Usually when you're working in a big organization, you're not going to be using storyboards because they're very hard to manage. So the first thing I need to remember, I don't recall how the storyboards are connected to the application. So we have the scene delegate, right? The scene delegate, scene, will connect, session, yada, yada, yada. Use this method to optionally configure and attach UI window to the provided UI window scene. If using a storyboard, the window property will automatically be initiated and attached to the scene. This delegate does not imply connecting scene or session. Okay, so I think this is where we get it. Guard let scene as UI window scene, else return. It's in here. Okay, so I guess the question I have is I cannot remember how to connect the UI window scene. Let's see. Let's just do some experimentation here. UI window. I'm trying to remember how to do this without using the storyboard. All of the projects that I have, like my personal projects, all use storyboards. So I don't have an example. I'm kind of winging it here. Windows scene. Preferred window. Call this system to determine window. I don't think this is what I want either. I remember something like UI window scene. Maybe it was like this. We might have to look this one up. View controller. No. Hey, UI window. View controller. No. UI scene. Activate state from no. Yo, Kanai, thank you for joining, bro. Actually, give me a second. Let me open the chat up. I forgot to open chat. Like I said, I'm locked in right now, guys. I'm not even trying to be performative. I'm just trying to figure something out so we can get this app working. And I haven't even eaten anything yet either. I don't know what I'm gonna eat for breakfast. We do. This session is only gonna be like maybe an hour to 2 hours long, guys. It's gonna be pretty boring. So hopefully people join who want to learn how to code, but we'll see. Yo, Eamon, thank you for joining. Yo, where are you going, Kanai? Connection options. Damn, guys, I don't remember how to initiate the class. Awake from did change because this is new. I don't want to ask ChatGPT. I might have to ask him though. I'm pretty sure it's here. I'm pretty sure it's in here where you need to change it. We got window already up there, right? Window. Oh wait, I think I saw something. Window. Perform action. Ay, ay, ay. Connections. I thought from what I remember, it was something like window. Oh, here, I found it. Okay. Window view controller. That's what it was. Window root view controller. And then we're going to change that to rant view controller. Like that. And then now I think I can delete my storyboard. Let's delete the storyboard and let's see what happens. So this is the storyboard right here, right? Main. Let's delete it. Let's delete it. And now we're going to build again and see if it works. Let's see what happens now. Okay, so we got an error. We got an error. We got compilation error. Terminated due to uncaught exception. NS invalid argument. Reason could not find storyboard named main in bundle. So why are we looking for a storyboard? Who is looking for the storyboard? I think that's probably in the configuration settings. Yo, Wazada the Great, thank you for joining the stream. Says Scott, do you have a brand connect deal? No, I don't. So I think that this is how this is launched, but let's go to the settings. And in the settings, there's going to be something to control whether we use storyboards, I think. Let's just look through all the settings here. Build settings. Architecture. Let's just go through all the settings because I don't remember where it's at. Build locations. Build options. I don't remember if it's going to say storyboard yes or no. I don't think so. I think it has the name of the actual storyboard on it. I think I just need to delete one line from here. versions, headers, info plist. I think here. Okay, I think it's gonna be in here. Launch screen generation, no. Blah 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 blah. Requires full screen. Support orientations. UIKit. Here, this one I think is what it is. UIKit main storyboard file base name. I think that these can get removed from the P list. I think. Let's see if there's anywhere else here. Yada yada yada. Localization, packaging. Yada yada yada. Search paths. Signing. I think it's that. I think it's just the P list that needs to be updated. All of this is just compiler settings. There's a lot of shit in here. Interface builder, storyboard compiler, options. Not here. Okay, I think it's just the info P list. I think it's just the info P list. In here. Yeah, here, this one. Get rid of this. Let's try build again. Okay, so we still got an error. What's it saying now? Could not find storyboard main in NS bundle. It's still looking for this. Let's see. Scene delegate, yada, yada, yada. Window, I don't see it anywhere in here. So now let me just search through this again because it must be in here somewhere. UIKit main storyboard file based name. It's this one. How do I get rid of this? How do I get rid of this? Maybe in here. Oh, okay, this right here. Okay, so here, I think I just need to delete this. Like that. Build it again. Okay, so now failed to send CA event to app launch measurements for CA. I don't know what this means. I've never seen this error before. Let's just make sure this main is not showing up anywhere else. I mean, the fact that the back is all black. Let's just get rid of this for a second. I want to see something. Build it again. It looks like it's building the view controller now. Is it? No. No, it's just a black view controller. I didn't get those errors I got a second ago though. So there's still something wrong. I think after you set the window variable, there's something I need to do here. Use this method to optionally configure and attach UI window to the provided UI window scene. Okay, so let's try to do that. Scene. Is there a window? Window. Scene as UI. Scene as UI window scene. What does UI window scene have on it? Let's just change this to a variable name. Window scene, like this. And then here we'll do window scene dot windows dot root or dot first maybe, or append new element. Let's just do append new element, fuck it, and we'll do window here. And now let's build again. It is no exact match for append. Why? No exact match for instance. Why is that letting me do that? Okay, is this just a read only maybe? Oh yeah, it's only a git. Windows scenes, Windows delegate, screen, UI screen, the screen that displays the content of the scene. So Windows scene has an array of windows on it, but I don't know how to get my window in there. Let's go Windows scene screen. What's on screen? Is there like a view controller? No. I'm not gonna use ChatGPT for this yet. He says, we're here for Bay. R.I.P. Charlie Kirk. He died on my birthday. He says, this makes me miss your yapping. I'll never complain again. How can I, okay, first of all, let's move this around. I think I can put this inside of the, down here, like right here. Other than that, let me also do something else here. Let's put a breakpoint here. I want to see if this is actually hitting or if it's going through. We're going to figure this out. I want to do this without ChatGPT's help. Okay, so it does hit this. Windows scene. So I need to connect my window to the Windows scene somehow, and I don't remember what needs to be done to do that. But I'm pretty sure I'm going in the right direction. So, Windows scene. How can I do this? I added the root view controller. Let's keep going. So inside this, there has to be some way for me to connect the Windows scene, Windows, I know that. Activate, no. Is full screen, no. Screen, no. Registers traits, register a list of traits to observe, no. These are all accessibility things. Class for coder. No. Input view controller. The custom input view controller to use when the respond becomes a first responder. No. There's something I need to do to this. Awake from nib. Prepare to receive. Awake after. Become first. Build menu. Damn. Now, sometimes as a developer, you need to go you need to go find some help. You got to do some research if you can't figure it out yourself. I just don't remember what I need to do from here to get this to go. Set value, target. And I don't want to have to go look it up and then be like, oh, it's something super fucking easy. I just didn't remember it. Yeah, it's not here. What could it be? I set my root view controller to the view controller that I want to be root for now. No, these are all for when the state changes. It's this one here. See application configuration for connection scene instead. The windows associated with the scene. My scene. Scene. Windows. View controllers. Navigation. I don't know what is on. Activate state, activation state, the current no, delegate, session, the assessment associated. Okay, let's see what happens with session. Dot. Yeah, I might have to look this one up, guys. I'm stumped. I don't remember what it was. There's a few things you need to do because I'm trying to not use the storyboards to start the stupid app up. Maybe it is session. I don't remember. Options. Connection options. What are the connection options? Okay. No. Okay. Okay, guys. Sometimes you gotta throw in the towel and just ask the question. Let's see what the stupid ChatGPT. Oh shit, you guys aren't even seeing my goddamn screen. Damn, I've been yapping and yapping to myself and you guys haven't even been able to see the screen. So for the people who are watching right now, what I'm trying to do is I was using a storyboard. I want to get rid of the storyboard and I want to use the view controllers directly. How can I use a view? How can I get rid of the storyboards? Let's see what it tells me. Yada, yada, yada. I don't care about any of this. Okay, window. Okay, I did that. Root view controller equals root, without creating the window. You've already You're already partway there. The scene delegate, you must create a window and attach the scene, then set your root. Does the window, wait, window scene, is this it? Okay, so this is a get set equals scene like this, maybe. Let's run it again and see what happens. Cannot assign value of UI scene to UI Windows scene. And just do this as, actually we don't need to do that. We can just do Windows scene like that. Okay, let's build it again. It still didn't work. But maybe let's revert to that. I'm still missing a step. Let's go back to the instructions. Yo, Phantom, thank you for joining the stream. Okay, so it says self window equals window. Okay, what did they do here? UI window. Oh my god, I can't just, let's just copy it and see what they did. So they did for your view controller. Window make key and visible. Maybe I just need this. Maybe optional. Let's see. Still didn't work. Initialize your window and view controlling code. You already partway to if your project still uses app delegate without scenes, older projects, you do something similar. Optional. Set up a navigation controller, which is what I kind of wanted to do originally. This is, maybe I'm not using this. Well, it says I'm using the scene delegate. Let me go back. If your project is using app delegate, okay, so let me try and do something different here. Let's just copy exactly what they had in this block and see what happens. Because obviously what I'm doing for some reason isn't working. Let's build again and see if what the ChatGPT suggested does works. Fuck, it did. God damn it. Okay, so what am I doing different? What the hell did I do different? Uncomment this. Let's grab this. Let's get rid of that really quick. I just want to compare what I have versus what ChatGPT said to do. Okay, so I had the guard same way. You can get rid of this line. Windows scene, which is the Windows scene is right here. window make key visible, and then they did this. So they changed the order around, but here, okay, do this. It had. What happens if I move this up above my controller? Get rid of these. I'm just curious because I don't remember how to do this part. So let's build again and see what happens. Okay, so it still builds. What happens if I remove this? Okay, so that's when nothing happens. So why can I not just do... Why did they have to create a new window? UI window, window scene, window scene. Why couldn't they just do that? Grab the original window and then do window dot scene. Window scene equals scene. No, equals window scene. Why couldn't they just do that? Get rid of this. Make these optional. Oh, I see why. I see why. This here. Okay. This here should be UI window scene. Can I do that with that window? Oh, okay. Okay, I see what the problem is. It's because this is optional. This is optional, so it doesn't even exist. Gotcha. I'm an idiot. So we can do this though. We don't need to do what they just did. We can do window equals like that. We can get rid of self equals window. These can still be optional, it doesn't matter. And then we can build now. It should still work. Yeah. That still works. He says, "You're still gambling?" No, I'm not trading anymore. Yo, Supersen, thank you for joining the stream. He says, "Bro, my girl was bugging me about what happened when you suddenly ended stream. Everything good?" Oh yeah, everything's good. Bailey was just having a bad day. You're just having a bad day. Okay, so what I want to do now is I'm gonna create a new navigator. Let root navigator. Let's do something different here. Let new navigator equal UI navigator. I don't want this to be connected to I don't want this to be connected to that original view controller. And then let's change this to root navigator and let's see if it still builds. Okay. What I want to do though is I want to separate out the navigation from the view controllers. But the problem is that there always has to be like a starting view controller. If that makes any sense. But it doesn't matter. We got this. Okay, so then here, what's it saying? The image at but does not have valid file extension. Okay, so this image, we're going to have to change it out eventually, but for now, I'm going to ignore that. These warnings are kind of annoying, though. Okay, so let's get to step number 2 here. Step number 2 is that we don't want this to be the root view controller. And also, I don't want to do this the way I'm doing it here. let's see. That view, this view. Let's add some more functions to this list here. Func. Let's see which functions were being used. So we were calling add text to label. Let's just grab the signatures from this class here. So there's one add text to label. Where is it? Okay, this one. We'll grab this one. And this is just going to be like that. What else is here? Oh, there's double func. We can get rid of that. Okay. That one. Which one else is being used? Is that the only one being used? Okay. Rant view dot view. We're gonna, that's a property. Yeah, it is. Okay, so we will var view UI view optional, and this is get set here. I think I did that right. What else is being used? And old man. All of the properties are being used. How can I? I'm thinking, how can I separate these out? Because what I want to do is I want to change this from rant view to just being the protocol. So let's go back. Let's see what we're going to be missing. Let's just do this. Boom. Like that. And then now you see how cannot assign property rant view is a let constant. This has to be var. Okay. So then now we're not able to access the image, the hello world, and the complaining Scott. Now I could change this. And we're gonna have to change these names too, because I want this to be a generic view, because we're gonna change this so that we have a table view and we can rotate through all of them, and we can have different images and different text for each thing. So these names have to be changed as well. But for now, we'll just let's go back. Go back over here. Let's change these to, this is old man image. This is gonna be main image. Let's just change it. Let's see, refactor, rename. So it changes it everywhere. Main image. Okay. And then we will allow access to that. So I think we can just do var main image, UI image. This UI image view, right? UI image view. UI image view. And then this should just be a get, right? And then contact stack, content stack. And then this is the text that's at the top. So let's rename this. Refactor, rename. We'll name this title label. And we can grab this. And we can also throw it up here. And this can be a var title label. And this is also a get, I think. And then this is going to be the caption. Caption label. And we'll grab this one too. And we will do this. Var caption label get. And now we can go back to the view controller. Okay, so it didn't change the names of here. So this is going to be, what do we call it? Main image. This is going to be title label. And this is going to be caption. I don't know why I didn't change it here. It should have changed it everywhere. Okay. So then now, down here, this is going to be rant view dot viewed load. We don't need this anymore. Okay. Now let's build it again and see if everything works. Okay, so everything works, and now we have a much cleaner interface, right? So now let's separate this out again. We got to keep separating this. Set background color. So let's compartmentalize this a little bit more. Damn, he says flight got canceled. No, W gotta drive back. I'm fucked. Bro, fuck, bro. I'm sorry about that, man. HD says, I hope you do understand coding as a skill and occupation will be obsolete in the next few years to AI combined with 5 viewers. Good luck having an income, little buddy. I don't understand why people like some people like this fucking HD guy. Like, bro, like, do you not have a life? Initialize main view. Let's just do that. Rant view. Like, you must be a real no lifer, bro. Okay. Call that function here. And this is rant view. Grab all this stuff. And let's get this stuff and throw it down here. He says misery loves company, to be honest. It's like, bro, like this guy has no life, dude. Literally has no life. Everybody's trying to like learn or at least watch something that, you know, where they could maybe learn something. And then you got this guy, he just being a complete idiot. That shit's not cute. That shit's mad annoying. Okay, so now we separated it out. We got a clean interface here. Move this up. So let's get rid of all the spaces. Okay. Good. So as you guys can start to see, everything is getting separated out, right? We got our initialized rant view. We got the view model that controls the brain of what appears. And we got the view that's now using the protocol. So we literally can go, let's see, what can we do here? Rant view. This rant view, we could, and also let me get rid of all of the additional logic that we had in here. We don't need this logic anymore. You don't need this. What I was going to say is, this view did load. We can get it. Let's take it out of the extension. And let's just put it at the very top so we can, after the properties are listed out here, right here. There. Okay. Let's build again, make sure everything builds. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new view controller here. This is going to be the captions list. Let's just call it. New empty file. captions list, right? So then this is going to be class captions list UI view controller, like that. Boom. Override func view did load. I think that needs to be in there like that. Super did load, right? Just need to import UIKit. Okay. So we just added captions list. I don't know if captions list is a good name for this. I'm thinking. Because the names right now are kind of stupid. Rant view, captions list. For the people who are joining, what I'm doing is I'm building an app. It will have a list of image. It will have an image. It will have a title. When the user clicks on each one of the lists, it will take them to this view that we're seeing right now that has the same image, but bigger. And then it will have whatever the caption was. But it's going to be just a bunch of like, you know, captions, quotes. Like I'm just making a list, to be honest. So then we're going to make a captions list file here. Here. New empty file. Captions list view. Also, this name needs to be view controller list view controller, and it needs to be moved into the view controllers, not the view models. He says, like a gay Tinder. Oh my god, dude. Come on, dude. You gotta try harder if you want to troll Amid. Okay, so now we got the captions list view controller. And we're going to go to our here. This is just gonna have one table view in it. So class captions list view, UI view, and then we're gonna make one table view in here. Import UIKit. We're going to extension captions list view. We'll do this in a second. Let's make the table view var table captions list table UI table view. Do that. This needs to return a closure that's already initialized. Let table view equal UI table view. And then this is going to be return table view like that. And then I want the table views actions to be handled inside of this captions list view. So in order to do that, let's think. This needs to have like an initializer as well, right? So that we can set just like over here where we have this initializer. I'm just thinking, how do we set the, no, we could just copy these over these initializers. Don't have to waste time rewriting them. Captions list, yada, yada, yada. Okay, right here, paste this. And then in here, I'm pretty sure that when these get initialized, the one that is going to be used is probably this bottom one. So then captions list, table dot data source equals self. And then captions list delegate equals self. I think we can do that in here like that. Cannot assign. Okay, so then this is going to conform to those. So it's going to be UI table view delegate, UI table view. I haven't done this in a really long time, so I'm trying to just remember from memory. Data source, which is basically just telling, okay, let's add the stubs. It's basically just telling the view controller or the view that the data is going to be coming from this caption list view, and that the delegate, the class that's going to be doing the work for the table view, is going to be the captions list view. That's essentially what we're telling it with these codes here. So then here we'll just we'll just return 0 for now, and then this table view index path UI table view cell. This, if I remember correctly, should be something like table view dot with identifier, something like this. For now, this returns a cell. Var cell equals, and then this should be with identifier. The identifier, I can't remember, what do we do with this identifier? This is just going to be index path. And then this should be return cell, but I don't remember what the identifier, where the identifier comes from. Return cell. Identifier, I think, can be anything, to be honest. I think it should just be the name of the class. Table view dot identifier. Register. Yeah, that's what it was. Register. Registers a nib object that contains a cell with a table view under the specific identifier. So I remember that when you need to register this. For cell use identifier, and then I think here we can just give it a bullshit name. Let's say missing argument number 1. Argument number 1, nib. I'm not using a nib. Register. I'm not using a nib. What other options do we have? Data source, row, register, yada yada yada. The registration is so that we have a way to know which table view is using what data source. Hence footer index. But I'm pretty sure that Maybe nib is just left nil. I don't remember. Register. I'll just leave it nil. Right, and this is direct. Yeah. Nil. And then this, I'm just gonna add. I'm just gonna call it caption list. Table view. And we can actually, let's do something else. Let's make a constant up here. Let table view identifier. This should all be actually, let's do this the proper way. Table view. Let's do this the professional way. There's no point in being lazy here. Identifier equals this. And then we'll do that. We'll do this. Actually, this should probably all be capital 2, but I'll leave it lowercase. And then let's just use that there. Table view identifier like that. Cannot use instance property. This should be static. And then this can be dot self dot like that. Ambiguous found. Why am I getting an error now? This can go like that. I'm pretty sure that this registration can be done this way. Maybe I can't do this here. No, because when you're creating the table view, there's no way I'm registering it when I start up. Let's build really quick and see. He says self views before super in it. These probably don't go in the required init. I think they go in this one. Let's just set a breakpoint here because I don't remember. I'm not doing this in a view control. I'm doing it in its own view, so it has to be set up differently. Oh, wait, what am I even doing? These are not going to get called because I'm not initializing this anywhere. Let's just go to... Let's just make a protocol captions list view delegate. We'll just do that. No, we don't need to do that. Because even these names for the what did I call this one? This is not a good name because it's not a delegate. Let's just change this to protocol. You know what? Leave it. Fuck it. It doesn't matter. We'll do the same thing here. This is gonna be this. And then this is gonna be get. Cell was never used, was never mutated. We'll fix this cell up in a second because I'm gonna have to make our own custom cell in a sec. But for now we can just keep it as the default cell. And I think the default cell should have like a cell dot Yeah, accessory type, content view. It should have like a basic ass setup. Basic ass setup. So then over here on the caption list view controller, we should have something like let var caption list view delegate equals, and normally this wouldn't be written out directly like this because we would use like dependency injection, but for now this is fine. Is that not what the class is called? Caption list view. Did I spell that wrong or something? Value of caption list view does not conform to, okay, it doesn't. I didn't add it yet. So let's go over here. Let's grab the delegate. Let's do this. We can do that, right? And now it should have no error. Okay. So then in here, we're going to do view. We can just do view. Dot fill. Okay, so there is no fill with add sub view. I think the fill with, see, the problem is if you work in another company, when you work in a company, you get used to having the stuff already built in for you. Cannot convert blah 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 to UI view as UI view. This should be as UI view. I don't know if I need a question mark behind the as. Yeah, I do. And then this says it needs to be unwrapped. We already know that this is, so I'm not even gonna do. I'm just gonna force unwrap it. And then this needs to be called view control, like that. Okay. So then let's build again. Now I want to see the lines. So we need to go back to caption list view and let's just change this number from 0 to like 50 so we can see that it's making the list properly. Oh yeah, the registration of the table view. Let's ask ChatGPT because I don't remember. How do I set my table view identifier? Okay. You set your table view reuse identifier when you register a cell class or nib with your table view and then use the identifier, same identifier when debugging. Right now you're trying to register nil, which won't work. You need to register a concrete cell type. UI or your custom subclass and use the same identifier string. Okay, so for right now, I don't want to have a custom cell. I want to use the default cell. So I'm assuming the default cell is this UI table view cell.self here. UI table view cell.self like that. Cannot convert self from stored property initializer. Okay. And we'll just do that. Build again. Okay. So then now let's go back to the code. Let's go back to the view controller. Let's set the constraints. Func set constraints. And then let's just set the constraints for this. So view, actually, caption list view dot constraint. Oh shit, I gotta convert this into everywhere I do it. Give me a second. Let's do something here. First of all, let's do this. Set constraints like that. I don't want to do this in the view. I mean, I could, but I don't want to have to pass the. I don't want to have to pass the You know what? Fuck it. We'll do it that way because this is too sloppy. Caption list view, blah, 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 blah. We initialized it. So let's do something here. Let's go back to the caption list view. Let's go back to the protocol. Let's add another property var view. This is going to be a UI view. UI view. It's going to be a get set. And then we'll just add it. We'll add it here. Var view UI view. Do that. This needs to be optional. Right? Okay, so now it should conform. Boom. Okay, so then now over here, because it's gonna be too sloppy if we do it the way I was gonna do it. So then over here we'll just get rid of this. Let's keep this very simple. Get rid of all this. And we're gonna go caption list view dot view equals view. Like that. So we're just passing the view controller's view to the caption list view. And then inside the caption list view, we're going to create a function here. And also, I want to test this out. So caption list, we'll do this. Let's go back to the scene delegate. On the scene delegate, we're going to we're going to remove this and we're going to change it for this one. So now we should just get a white screen. And I think the white screen should have like a bunch of lines on it. Let's see. Okay, so now we do hit the breakpoints. Keep going. Okay. So we got a black screen. And the reason we got a black screen is because, I'll tell you why. Because we have not set on the caption list view, we have not set the constraints. So even though we passed in the view, nothing is happening yet because we haven't set the constraints. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a new function here. And we're going to call this function set constraints. Func set constraints. Right? Boom, 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 boom. We're going to do that. We're going to go back up here. We're going to go set constraints. We're going to call the function. We're going to grab the view. So we're going to go table view. Caption list table view dot constraint. Right? Okay. Dot left anchor. Yeah, left anchor equals constraint equal to view dot left anchor. Right? And we're going to do this for every one of these. Blah, 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 blah. Value of blah, 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 blah must be unwrapped. Okay, in here, we can do guard let view equals view else return like that. So we don't need to have the optionals because I don't think you can use optionals for these. And then this is going to be ns constraint. Right? ns constraint. Yeah. ns constraint activate. And then we're going to do that. And then we're going to throw these in there as a list. So let's get rid of this. Let's put it in here. Do that. Right? Okay, so that's the left constraint. Caption list. Right anchor constraint equal to view right anchor. We're just going to fill the whole thing. Caption list, table view, up anchor dot constraint equal to view top layer, top anchor, and then caption list, table view, bottom anchor constraint equal to view bottom anchor. And this should now expand the stupid table view so that it takes up the entire screen. Let's build again. And nothing happened. Nothing happened. Why? Is this getting called? Let's see. No. Never gets called. Never gets called because this initializer. What is going on with this initializer? This initializer only gets used on it's this bottom one is the one that's really getting used. Right? Has not been implemented. Init coder. This one's not getting used either because it would fail every single time. I feel like there's another initializer that needs to be used. Because this is not getting called. We initialize this, boom. That sets a that creates the whole view. We pass the view over, right? However, oh, actually, okay, I see the problem. The problem is that this is the same. It's a race condition again. We initialized here. We initialized here, but the initializer takes no parameters. He says, gotta see someone fresh out of college coding versus your coding. Wait, how come can I? Let's just add a function to this. Or you know what? Let's just make this one the view did load. Fuck it. View did load like that. And I'll just grab this. And I'll just throw it into the parameter so we can access it. And then I'll go back to the caption controller. And then I will do caption list, blah, 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 blah. View did load. Like that. We'll set this up here like this. We'll go back over here to the list. And now I think it should work. He says to see who's better. Oh my God. Okay, so now let's go through these. Unable to activate constraint anchor, why? Okay, I see why. It's because we had one step that we're forgetting. View dot add sub views, and then we have to add the sub view there. That, boom. Okay, now it should work. Okay. So we're getting thrown some constraint errors. Unable to simultaneously satisfy. Okay, there's something we need to do here. In here it needs to be table view dot. What is it? Ignore layout. I can't remember what the fucking thing. Translate auto constraint yada 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 equals false. I think now we shouldn't get those errors. Okay, there we go. Yes. Fuck yeah. Okay. So now we got our table view showing up on screen. He says to see who's better or if experience matters. Kanai, you got to remember that I haven't done this. I'm doing this from scratch, dude. Like, I haven't done this from scratch in 5 years. I haven't done this from scratch in 5 years. So I literally don't remember how to do this from scratch. But if we go back to my old code, so for example, when I was writing before, like when I was learning how to code originally, I made this whole entire app, like Instagram, the Instagram app. I made my own version of Instagram that was called Petstagram. And it had every single feature, like everything you can do in Instagram, you could do in this application, right? And you can see how much code this was. Like it had authentication for you to sign in. It had the user profiles. It had account images. Like it had the albums. It had the time frame logic. It had the user logic. It had the back end. It had keys for the different items that are being used. It had the tests so that we could test that everything is working when you're done. It had the descriptions for every image and the captions. It had an image downloader that downloaded all the images from a server. It had a collection view builder. It had a follower tracker so you could keep track of who's following you and who you followed. It had the likes view controller that showed you who liked your images. It had a feed. It had a bunch of shit, bro. It had a bunch of shit. It had everything. It had everything everything you can do on Instagram, you could do in that app. Except that instead of it being for people, it was for pets. The problem, like I said, is I just haven't coded anything in a really long time, dude. I haven't coded anything in a really long time. Even, for example, the data source here, I didn't even do this the way I would have normally done it. So the data source, I think that the way I did it here works, but I don't really remember. Caption list. So here I just did cell, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. Am I supposed to use the data source like that? Because they did data source. Oh, no. It's because I used NS diffable data source on the project. See, this is the right now, the way I set up this table is like the very simple. It's a very simple way. But the way I set it up over here was like a more complicated version. So I set a data source and I used this data source property. And then I had UI table view diffable data source, which is a different way of creating the table view. Like I gotta to be honest, I'm not going to say I have to relearn all this stuff because when you get a job, you like learn as you go. It's like based on like what needs to be done. So I really don't need to do anything, if I'm being honest. Because when you get the job, they'll tell you what you need to do, and then you'll go and look up what you need to do as you do it. What I'm doing right now, to be honest, is I'm just building this app from scratch because I needed to remember how to get the app to even build. What it does doesn't matter, Kanai, is what I'm trying to say. Like, if I build this app and it does a bunch of shit, it doesn't matter because all that really mattered was being able to get the app to build successfully without using the storyboards, which is this part of the code right here, which I did have to get a little bit of help from ChatGPT because I didn't remember that this right here was not initialized. So I was missing a step. I was missing this step here. But the most important thing that I've done today was build this function here to use code written from scratch instead of using the storyboards that the application wants you to build. So for example, in the Petstagram application, I wrote this when I was still learning how to code back in 2020, and I used storyboards. So these storyboards are like a shortcut for you to be able to get shit on the screen. So you kind of like have like your design already like stuck on here, and then you're just adding the data to the design. But the problem is that when you work in a group with a bunch of people, these storyboards, they're not saved as you're seeing it right now on the screen, where it's like an image. It's saved. Let me see. Is there a way for me to show you the raw? There has to be a way somewhere for you to see the raw values. Okay, let's just find the code in my actual computer, and I'll show you how it's saved. And then maybe you'll understand why you can't use those. So I think it's going to be in here. Coding stuff. Coding. Projects. Petstagram. Okay, in here. So then, Petstagram here. And then, okay, so right now we're looking at, which one are we looking at? We're looking at the app login scene. And this is the main storyboard. So where are those even saved? This is the language. This is controllers. Maybe it's in here somewhere. I actually don't even know where this is saved. Let's do something else. There's an easier way to do this. Let's just say show in Finder, and it will show me. Okay, so here. Oh, so it is saved in the language file, base language project. Okay, so in here, if we open this, if we open it in like a notepad, right? Text editor, you'll see how it's saved. This is how this is saved. So what we're seeing on screen right now, all of this jibble jabble text, all of this is generated whenever you make a change to this design file, right? And the problem is that every single time you open this file in the Xcode, like whenever you open this file in the Xcode, even if you don't make any changes, it changes this code here, right? There's like a timestamp. There's like a few things that change. And the identifiers for each one of these screens, the identifiers from each one of these screens changes when you open them from different machines, right? So if you're working in a group with 20 other people and you use these stupid storyboards, every person who opens this is going to make a change. But remember that we're all working at the same time. And since we're all working at the same time, the source control management is going to save everybody's change. But whoever's the last person needs to have all of the changes that everybody made. And it creates conflicts. So then every single time you try to upload your changes, this file is going to have a bunch of fucking errors. It's going to have a bunch of stuff that's like red, conflict with this, conflict with that, because everybody's trying to work in the same file at the same time. So most big companies don't use these storyboards. These storyboards are a pain in the ass. When I did this project, like I said, this was 6 years ago. This is when, right? Let me see what year this was. It will tell me the year in the... This was in 2020. I wrote this in February the 23rd of 2020. So when I wrote this code, I never worked in a company before. So I didn't understand that when you're working in a company and there's a bunch of people working at the same time on the same project, that the source control is going to be keeping track of the changes. And if you're using storyboards, there's going to be a bunch of conflicting changes on those storyboards. So when I started working at the company that I worked at, they don't use storyboards because it's too difficult to use them. So the most important thing for me today was to remember how to remove the storyboard that comes default in the project and to initialize the project so that it uses code directly from these classes that I'm writing here instead of the storyboard. So for example, like right now, I can remove this, right? I can comment this out. I can comment this out, and I can just directly grab my class that I have, and I can throw it in here, and then I can build the app, and the app will automatically pull the code that I wrote over here, and this view controller here. It will pull the code that I wrote and assign it to the screen without using the stupid fucking storyboard layouts. The only thing is that if you don't use the storyboard layouts, you need to be able to understand how to do the constraints, like these constraints here that tell the screen, it tells the app where to put the items on the screen. Because if you're using a storyboard, you can just draw what you want. Like when I had in my other project, when I built my screens, I literally could just draw this. Like this is drawn. Like I can put the stuff where I want visually. And then in the code, this is the login, right? In the code, I go back to my code. If I go to the app login, it will have the items that are on the screen, like the login area, the sign in button, the email address text field, the password text field, and the logo. And then you see these little circles here. These circles, you can drag and drop items to these circles. So if I add a new one at IB outlet, and IB stands for interface builder, by the way, week var test. Let's just make a fake label, UI label. You'll see that now this box, there's like an empty circle here, right? And then this empty circle, if I were to go to the storyboards, I can drag and drop the items onto these circles and it will connect them. So if we go back to the storyboard, you'll see if I click on one of these items and we go to the inspector has a bunch of fucking things, right? Like it has like this, the reference outlet, and then you see how it has this little circle. These circles are draggable. You see, they're draggable. So then you can go and you can write the code. You can go back to the code screen, so you can pull up both screens at the same time, right? You can split this screen in half. Like, let me show you. You can just go like this and open a new tab. Actually, no, I don't want to do a new tab. Why does this look like this? On my screen, on my work computer, I had this set up differently. So there's another way to add. How do we do this here? I don't think my Xcode is set up properly here. Let's see. Editor. Display. Number lines, blah, 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 blah. Mark separators. Wrap, blah, blah, blah. Why can I not? There's an option to do this, but I don't see it here. Completer, indentation, yada, 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 shortcuts. No, navigation, start page, start, same document, new editor pans, pin, click to code, use window tabs in full screen. Oh, that's cute. He's looking at me like I'm crazy. Yo, Rob, thank you for joining the stream.
I got her covered in rose. Oh my god, there's. Oh my god, she got rose petals all over her. Daddy doing nonsense.
I'm coding.
Nonsense.
Oh my god. Where is it? There should be like an option to add up here. Add more screens. But for some reason, what happens if I do Control T? No, that just opens a tab. I'm not trying to open a tab. I'm trying to open a split screen. Adjust editor options. Side-by-side comparison. This is not what I want either, though. Tab. Editor pan to the right. This is what I want, but I don't know how to add the option so it just shows it in line. But what I wanted to say is that you can open up a pan like I just did, right? Pan on the right, boom. And then you could go back to your storyboard, right? Boom, like this. And you could have the storyboard open here. And then you could open up this here, right? And then you could grab at the storyboard, you can go back to you could go back to the list of components. You could select your component, and then you could just grab this new outlet, boo, 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 and drag it wherever you needed it. Like this, boom. And then it will ask you some stuff. You give it a bullshit name, and it will add it here automatically. And that's why this system, this is the old school system, right? On how to do this. The old school system, I'm going to delete this. This is the old school system for anybody to be able to build an app quickly, right? Back in the day, if you were just learning how to code and you didn't know how to create the UI through code, then you could just use the storyboards. You could add the components over here. You don't even need to do that either. You can literally just drag that little line to your code and it will automatically build these items for you. It will ask you the questions it was just asking me. It will say, give it a name. You'll give it a name and then it will add it here and it will already have the plus sign that connects it to the appropriate component. And then you didn't need to do any of this stuff. Even these changes here. So for example, you can see here, I did some ones in programmatic views. And these ones have like the colors, the layout, the size. That is like a more advanced way of doing this. But when you were working in a company, we never ever used storyboards because like I said, it causes a bunch of merge conflicts. So we always wrote stuff in code. We always wrote stuff in code from scratch like this. And we always just told the computer with the constraints how to connect the things and how to lay them out on screen. He says, back in my day, oh no, Rob, I'm actually saying the opposite. I'm saying that the storyboard is the old way. This was the new way when I started doing it. And now there's a new way, which I'm going to learn after I finish doing what I'm doing the way I'm doing it now. So this is just a refresher for me for now. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to do this all again using the new system. Because I need to know 4 different systems. I need to know Objective-C, how to do this with Objective-C in the storyboards. in case I get hired at a company that's using some old ass shit, I need to know how to do it with the UIKit, which is what I'm doing right now. UIKit and storyboards. I need to know how to do it from scratch, like I'm doing today, completely with no storyboards at all from scratch. And then I need to know how to do it with SwiftUI. So it's 4 things that I need to know how to do. Okay, so anyways, let's go back to the caption view. Let's change this number from 50 to 10, right? And let's build. There should be like 10 lines on the screen now. Okay, so now we only have 10 lines on the screen, right? So then the cell, this is the built-in cell, I think. So cell, let's see, content view probably, dot subviews, dot layer, dot background. I'm trying to remember what the cell has on it. The cell has a label. I remember it has a main label. But I don't remember what it was called. Background, blah, 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 blah. Editing style, focus style, is editing, yada, 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 bounds. What is the default thing on the cell called? I can't remember what it's called. Main maybe? Actually, you know, we can get this. I know how we can get this. I think we can just go to the class. So where is it? UI table view cell. And then there should be content view UI view. He says, I pissed him off with Wario text label. Oh, it's just called text label. Let's see. Cell dot text label. Oh yeah, it is. The label for the use in the main blah blah blah. Text label will be deprecated in the future. Damn, they're getting rid of it. Okay, so now if I just type in like text label dot text, and then we just do like testing, it should say testing 10 times on the screen. Okay. But we're gonna build our own custom cell. I'm just testing this out. So what we're planning on doing for the people who are just joining the stream is the screen that I showed a moment ago, right? Let's do something here. Let's do something. Let's go table view. Did select row at here. And then let's do did select row at index path. How do we do this? Well, first let's do print tapped row at, and let's print out the index path. Index path. The index path is just the number, but this is not going to matter. So when I build this now, inside the console down here, when we tap on these, yeah, see, when we tap on these, now it's going to show what row we tapped on. But for now, I don't care, because what I really want to do is I wanted to show you guys what I'm actually trying to accomplish here. So when we tap, we're going to do view dot navigator. This view should have a navigator on it, I would think. View dot. Does it not? This is the UI view, isn't it? Oh, this is the UI view. What I want is the navigator that controls this view. But we can't get that because we didn't pass it over the view controller. Can we get the parent? View dot parent. Okay. we're going to have to add something to the view. I just realized that this view does not have any type of controller connecting it. So how can we do this? How can I do this? What I want to do, chat, if you're wondering, I could cheat and open up this viewed load and pass in the navigator. He says low tier. He says if you play any Animal Crossing, he says Snake and Link and Seamus. I don't know what you guys are even talking about in the chat. He says you remember the old these niggas are talking about something completely different. I know this stream is boring, guys, but I'm trying to teach y'all something. We have a decent amount of people watching. That's crazy. I didn't know we had that many people. It's good. It's good. Okay, let me not look at the numbers though. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is I want to be able to tap the screen, and then I want it to take us to the other screen that I was showing you guys a moment ago. And I think that I have an anti-pattern built here. That's the problem that I'm having. Because our view has no fallback on it. And I want to be able to do this. I don't want to do this in a sloppy way because this is actually kind of messy. We're passing our view over. There's a reference to the captionless view controller. The captionless view controller, this view doesn't have anything on it though, right? This is just a UI view. Now I could do something sneaky here and just do like extension UI view. This is something that they do in a lot of random companies. Extension UI view, and then like add a handler, which I guess could be a function. I don't know, var handler, and then the handler could just be yada yada, bada bada, yada yada, void. I make this optional, like so, right? This is a stored property though. Did we not do these as extensions before? Well, if we'll just make it a function. Fuck it. Doesn't matter. Func handler. Yada yada. But if we make it a handler, a function handler, then we can't have it do whatever we want. And the purpose of extending this is having it do whatever we want. So let's not do that. So this is going to have to be broken down into a getter, right? Get and a setter, like that. And then when we do this like this, missing return in the getter should just be return. What do we return here? Non-void function should return a value. We need to return How would we return this? Because here, this is the new value. It's just going to be handler equals, right? And then this is just going to be equals a closure. So new value like that. Attempting to modify handlers with its own setter. I just realized I don't remember how to set the getter and the setter. Because, or does this just go old value? Old value equals new value? I don't remember. How do you stump over something that's been there for 2 days? Okay, let's use the chat GPT here. How to set a getter and setter. Because I don't remember. Let's see an example here. I hate how I can't expand this. I want to see the freaking example. I don't want to just copy it. Okay, I don't want to do this. I literally don't want to do this. Self. This is not what I want to do. Let's scratch that idea. Let's scratch that idea. I'm thinking here. All I want to do is navigate away. I mean, I guess we could add a closure here. Var item tapped. And then this could just be the closure I was going to do on the other thing. But I kind of didn't want to do that. Void optional. This has to be capital. Void optional. This needs to be done like that, right? And then we can throw this into the protocol so that we can access it like this. And then we could just do get set like that. And then in here, right here, we'll just do item tapped like that, right? And then in the caption list controller, we'll do caption list item tapped equals this, and then we'll do navigation controller how do I push we'll do that, and then we'll this is going to be now we're capturing items though. Self weak self in, and now we're going to have to do the self over here. Self do, and then this is going to be true, and then we can hit the enter, place enter, enter, and that, enter, this, enter. And then this will just change this to rant view controller. Rant view controller. Like that. And now we'll build again. And I think that when we tap the screen, it should take us to the other screen, right? Boom, yeah, it did. Okay, we can go back and forth. Every single one is doing the same thing though. You guys see what's happening here now, chat? You all see what's happening? So now, when we tap on all of these, it is taking us to the next screen. And what I'm going to do after this is I'm going to customize the rant view controller so that it takes in a view model, which it already does, right? It already does. But we're going to add it to the initializer so that this view model is not being hard coded here. It's being passed to the view controller when we tap on the screen. So that then the image and the text will be coming from this table view instead of it coming from the hard coded view model that's here. Does that make sense? Is anybody even watching this or understanding what I'm doing? I'm so crazy, guys. I'm streaming coding stuff to non-coders. Like a maniac. But it's all good. It's all good. Anyways, I think I'm going to end here, guys. Maybe, I don't know. It's up to Bailey if she wants me to do something or not. I might just start another stream up where we're doing, you know, some non-code related shit. But I think that's a good place. This is a good place to end. Rob says trying. Rob, before I end this stream, do you want me to go over what I did? I can go over what I did really quick if you want to get a recap. Just to explain to you guys what I actually accomplished today. So I'll do it anyway, just for the posterity, right, of the video. We started with this screen here, guys. This was the first screen, right? It has an image, it has a title, and it has a caption. And in fact, this title, you see how the font is just normal font? Let's go and change the font of the title. So, rant view, title. Let's change the style. Label, text. Text. Font equals. Let's just make it bigger font. Preferred font style. Let's see. Footnote, caption, body, extra large title. Let's just do extra large title and see what it looks like. Okay, so that's a little bit too big. Let's just do headline. Let's build it again. Headline is kind of lame. Now we can completely customize this however we want, but I'm just trying to use the basic ones. Let's just use large title then. Fuck it. Large title. The other one was extra large title. Large title should be better. Okay. Now, if we really wanted to, we could also use a custom font. We can do whatever we want. Like, we're programming it. We can do whatever we want. I'm keeping this simple. So this was the first screen, right? It was an image. It was some text. It was a caption, right? We created that by creating this rant view controller. The view controller is what controls what the user is presented with. We separated everything out to keep this simplified. So we have our rant view controller. We have the rant view, which is what the user actually sees, which is this class right here. And we have a rant view model. The rant view model is the brain, right? It's what tells the view what information it's going to be showing the user. We separated them out into their respective components. We created protocols so that we're not using the classes directly. And the reason we're using these protocols instead of using the classes directly is because in the future, I plan on implementing dependency injection. Once we use dependency injection, we don't want anything to be hard coded. So we don't want anything to be tied to any particular class. So we'll just be using protocols. We have the text hard coded here, but I plan on creating a library that has all the text, and it will be put in an array so that we can sort through it. So we started with the first screen, which was just a layout. But in reality, what we're going to be doing moving forward is we're going to be using this table view. We're going to be using this table view. The table view is going to have an image and the title. When the user clicks on this, it's going to take them to this screen. And depending on what they clicked, it's going to show a different image, different user, different title, and different caption. And this is going to be a list of images, titles, and captions. And in fact, I think that there's a built-in image on the table view already, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see, cell image. Yeah, there is. So we can do cell image view dot image, and then UI image, and let's go UI image. Let's just do the one we did, named, and this can be old man. And now it should have the image on every single cell. Yeah. Okay. So you see how the image is on every single cell? Now, there's a few things that I want to change right off the bat. And this, instead of it saying cell, the testing, let's just do cell number. And then we'll do index path dot item, right? I think item is the number. And now it should have a number instead of everything, instead of the word testing. There we go. Okay. So now, are you guys seeing how powerful this is? And this can be any number. We can change this to, let's just change it to 100 so you guys can see what I mean. We'll build again. And now we have 100 cells. He says, will you publish this app? Not really, Rob. I'm just doing this to refresh my memory on how to even do this. Does that make sense? I'm just refreshing my memory. And let's start from 1. Okay, so now we have an accurate count. 1, 2. It has all the cells. Let's make the cells a little bit bigger. And then let's make the image have rounded corners. So to make the image have rounded corners, we can do that easily in here. We can just do cell, image view, layer, border width, bounds, curved. I think it's maybe bounds dot curved. I don't remember. Clip to bounds. Clip to bounds should be true. And then cell image view dot bounds. I can't remember what it is. Curved. I feel like it's layer and then corner radius. Yeah, this is what it was. Corner radius. Let's make it. I think if the corner radius is half the width of the size, it will make it a circle. So I think that would be 0.5 maybe. 0.5. Let's see. No, that didn't change the size. When I'm doing 10. There's some math that needs to be done here, but I'm not gonna do it yet. Just want to see something. Okay, so now the corners are round. I'm gonna make this a circle. To make it a circle, I think it has to be half the diameter. So it would be cell image view layer dot what frame width divided by 2, right? And this is optional, so let's just give it a default value of 0, right there. And then now I think it will be a circle. I think if you make the corner radius half the diameter of the if you make the corner radius the diameter of the shape that you're on, then that should make this a circle. Right? Basic math. Okay, I'm an idiot. Why did that not work? The radius is from the middle out, right? Boom. So that would be the width divided by 2. But am I grabbing it from the right thing? Is it the frame or is it the bound? This is a question they ask you when you're trying to get hired. I think the frame is not the same thing as the bounds. I don't remember. I got to do some memory refreshing here. Damn, it still didn't fucking do it though. Clip the bounds. Does the clip the bounds have to be after the... No, because we just saw it. Maybe the math is wrong. Let's print this out and see what it comes out to. Let's see. It's coming out to 0. Okay, so there's a problem with this. Maybe image view. Let's try a different frame width. Let's try that. Maybe it's not on the layer. Maybe it's directly on it. I don't remember. It's still 0. Oh, wait. No, I'm not printing out the right thing now. So copy this. Let's paste that here. Let's see if we get values now or not. It must still be 0 because it's not doing anything. But I just want to make sure we got to say, okay, so it's not that either. Image view, frame bounds. The bound rectangle which describes the view's location and size in its own coordinate system. Frame. The frame rectangle that describes the view's location and size in its super view's coordinate system. Okay, so I think it is bounds. Bounds. Width. Motherfucker. Why is it still not having any value? Size is 0. It's not image view.image. The frame rectangle that describes the view's location and size in its super view. How do I access the size. He says, Don here from Microsoft. I regret to inform you we've decided to move in a different direction and hire someone more suitable for our role. Oh my God, Rob. What Rob doesn't understand is that this doesn't matter. This is like me trying to build something from scratch. When you get hired in those companies, you're not building anything from scratch. Unless you're on there from the day, unless you're there from the very first day, or it's a new project. I haven't built an app from scratch in like 6 years, dude. But I don't understand. Let's see if this is actually instantialized. Okay, so it does. What are they? But it's all zeros. Old man. Why is that? When the cells are created, maybe it's because when the cells are created. No, because all these cells are not created. They're created as we're looping through this. So why would they be zero? Okay, let's do frame and see what the frame is. Maybe you might not be able to customize this inside of the iteration, but from what I remember, you could customize it in here. I just did frames. I did layer. There's only frames, layer, and bound. I don't know. We can do bounds and see what bounds spits out. Bounds is also all zeros. Oh, baby. Oh my. The cells are getting created as we loop through this function. Every time this function is called. I'm gonna have to go do some research and remember because I don't remember what it is, how to do it. Because we do round the corners when we. This makes it a circle, but I don't want to do the math. Like I'm not trying to. I want to actually do the math to do it. That's the problem. Because this is like hard coding and I don't want to hard code anything. Let's make the cells wider. Which height for row at yada yada yada. Let's make the cells worth 100. Make them wider. Okay. And then I don't want the images to be the same size as the width of the cells. I want them to be smaller. So then in here, I think we can do cell image view, layer. Yeah. Can we change these in here? Is this a get set or is it just a get? It's just a get. I want to change the height of the stupid image, but I cannot recall because this is not a custom cell, so there's not like that much customization on it. He says, chat, would you hire Scott? Be honest. You guys, man, you guys are so fucking stupid sometimes, chat. No cap. Y'all don't understand how this works, guys. Y'all niggas don't understand how this works. What I'm doing right now is, this is just practice, bro. Do you think at some company they're going to make me write a table view from scratch? No, they're not. Because that's not what we do when you're actually working in a company. When you're working in a company, this shit's going to already be built most of the time. And they'll say something like, oh, Scott, we have this table view that has 100 cells in it, and there's an issue with the fonts on these cells, or this needs to look a certain way, or can you change where this is on the screen, or can you go in here and figure out why when the user clicks on cell number 55, it takes them to cell number 100 instead. Fix that bug. Like, most of the time it's going to be stuff like that. Like, come on. And also, I'm building it using the default components that come from Apple. When you work in a company, like, the components are not even the same components. Like, these cells are the cell. This is a blank fucking default cell that I'm using. Like, this is not some sort of customized cell. Like, I literally made the cell myself. Like, I created my own table view identifier with my own cell, and I'm creating my own cell using the default cells that come from Apple. When you work in a company, there'll be some guy that works there, and he'll have a cell class that he made, and then that cell will be super customizable, and it won't be, you won't need to do any of this shit, because we don't do this shit in the real job, because this is like the very bottom layer. The only time that you would be doing this is if you were starting on a brand new project. Like, if you're working in a project that already exists, you're never going to be using this cell at all. Even in my own project that I made myself, the pestagram project that I was showing you guys a moment ago, I didn't use the default cell. Here. Where is it? Let's see if we can find a table view. Post view controller, right? That's the table view. Yeah, this is a table view. So even on this table view here, I created a custom cell, post table view cell. And then the post table view cell had the items already on it. It had the profile photo, the image, the username, and the post date. But you see how it's already separated out. And then over here, I forced the cell that was getting generated to be that type, post table view cell. And then I grabbed the cells. And then since I already had a custom cell, I could access the components directly. You see how I grabbed them directly? This is completely different from what I was doing. And then you see how image image cell, what's the image cell supposed to be? Because that's a cell, profile photo, frame width. So it was the width, frame width. I got the width, which is width of and then it was just width divided by 2. Yeah. Clip the bounds, He says, sell Taco Bell. Well, I have to go brush my teeth and put on my retainer. W chat today. Take care, Scott. Hope things work out for you, man. Man, y'all niggas, this is why I should probably not even do this shit live, because y'all niggas be trying to make me feel like I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, when you guys don't even understand what I'm fucking doing. That's the crazy part about it. The crazy part about it is, like, I'm building a rocket here, and y'all niggas be like, yo, Scott, you're building it wrong. And I'm so stupid that I get rage bait into believing that you guys know what you're talking about. Meanwhile, Bailey's in the back taking care of Octavia, probably getting mad frustrated that I'm doing this dumb shit. I'm learning though. I am learning. This is a learning session. No, it's because they're rage baiting me now because they're like, yo, looking at Scott doing this, do you think you would hire him? It's like, what? Your niggas don't even know what I'm doing. No, they don't know what I'm doing. Anyways, I'm gonna end session, guys. I'm gonna end session. I think we made some progress today, though. We did make some progress today. We made our table view. We got some shit on the screen. We're not using the storyboards. We have a segue already, so we can go to the next screen. All we need to do now is add the data, have the data being shown here, be passed into this screen. I think that's a good start. Day number 2. So next time the next session, what we're going to do is we're going to be having the text show up here with the different captions. And then all of these will be different images. And when the user clicks on one of these, the image and the text will be passed over to this screen. And then it will have the appropriate corresponding, it will have the corresponding caption and title and image. Does that make sense? And you guys can already see down here that every single cell is tied to a number. So when I click on this, let's get rid of this so you guys can see the text down here. When I click on a cell, it tells you what cell you clicked on. Are you seeing? This is section 0, index 1, index 2, index 3. So this is what controls what text and image are going to be showing up. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an array. And the array will have the image, the array will have the text, and the array will have the caption. And then the array index will be tied to where it is. Like, it'll be tied to where it is. Like, okay, for example, guys, let me just do a quick example so I can show you. Let's just create a cracked out an array. We'll just crack out an array here. We'll just go var data equals. We'll do this. And then we will, let's create a struct that has what we need in it, right? I'll just throw it up here, struct. I'll just call it test struct. Struct, test struct, right? And then we're gonna add var text equals string, var title string, var image, UI image, like that. Okay. And then now we should be able to initialize a struct here. So we'll just go test struct test struct, and we'll just do title and whatever. And let's just do like 5 of these, right? So I can show you guys how this is supposed to work. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Let's go doom, boom, boom, boom. Okay. So then, and let's just make the image for all of them the same image. So we won't even change the image. Okay, so then we're just gonna do Scott complains. Scott rants. Scott fails. Chat trolls. Chat is incel. Rage. Chat rants. Scott rants, right? And then here we'll just how do I connect? I can't remember how to select multiple ones at the same time. Damn, how do you select? I can't remember how to select multiple ones at the same time. Can you not select multiple ones at the same time anymore? Yeah, it's Control Shift. There. I don't know why it wasn't working. Boom. Okay. So then I'll just filler text. We'll just do that because I'm only going to show the titles. Filler text. Okay. And this one got messed up because there. Okay, so is this right? Okay. So then you see how data now has all this stuff. So then here we're going to go, instead of it being 100, we're going to do data dot count. And then here, we're going to do, instead of it being text, we're going to do data. And then it's going to be index path dot item dot title. Okay. So now if we build, you'll see how every single one says something different. Do you see? Scott complains, chat rants, Scott fails, chat trolls, chat is incel rage, Scott rants. And so the same thing could be done with the images. If I added an image here, let's just add an image. Let's just add a random image, right? We'll add this screenshot of this boot. Assets. Boom. We do this. Let's grab this. Let's go in here. Let's change this to preserve vector. Let's change this to scales. Single scale. Let's change the name to boots. And then now if we go back and we can say caption list, we can go here and we can say UI image. We can go named, and then we can go boot, right? Like that. Let's go back. I don't know if I named it boots. I can't remember what I named it. I named it boots. Yes, boots. Okay, so caption list. So we called it boots, right? So then let's go down here, and then we'll say this, boom, image, and then we'll have a default value of old man. And then if we build it, and this can be let, this doesn't need to be, keeps complaining, so let's change that to let, so it stops complaining. Okay, let's build. And now you'll see that the image will be different. Now you see how the image is different. And we could just add whatever we want to this array. And this is the reason why when you do the interviews, they always ask you to fuck around with arrays and like change them, rotate them, modify them, yada, yada, yada. But when you're really writing code, it doesn't matter anymore because you can see what you're doing. Like usually when I'm building an app in real life and I'm debugging or I'm doing a project, I don't go and do it in my head. Like I build it, I change it, I build it, I change it, I build it, I change it. Does that make sense? In fact, let's say we want every single even item to be the image of the boot, and we want the odd items to be the image of me. We can go down here. We don't even need to we don't even need to do anything in here. We can just go here and we can say if, let's get the index first of all. So in here we'll say var current index equals index path dot item, so that we can get the index without having to do all the bullshit we were doing before. That simplifies this to just current index, and then this gets simplified to current index. And then we can do something like if current index remainder division of 2 equals 0, right? So we can do actually let's be a little bit more clever than that. We'll do, instead of changing anything down there, we'll do data current index dot image, and we'll just change the image right here, UI image, and then we'll make that one boots, like that. I think this has named like that. Okay. So now there's going to be every single even one should be the boot, right? There we go. So now you have the boot, you have me, you have the boot, you have me, you have the boot, you have me. Because what this is doing here is it's basically saying if the current index divided by 2 has no remainder, right? The remainder is equal to 0. Then we're going to change the image to a boot. But you also got to remember that we start at 0. So 0 divided by 2. This is not 2. This is 1. This is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because we started at 0. So what you should do, to be honest, would be index plus 1. Right? So we can get the real odd indexes. And now let's remove the code that we had up here. Well, actually, let's leave it as a bug and then we'll fix it. So in a real life scenario, if you were working in a company, let's say you'd build this and then they'd say, okay, Scott, we have a bug where we have a table view and it's showing a bunch of, let's pretend these were something different. We have a bunch of items that we're showing images of, and for some reason, we have 3 items in a row that are all the same, and we can't figure out why. Like, why do we have the image of me, then right image, writing image, wrong image, writing image, wrong image, writing image? So then it would be your job to go in there and figure out, like, okay, what's wrong? Like, where's the bug at? Where's the bug at? And the bug obviously is because we already set the image up here. So I would go through everything and be like, oh, okay, so the problem is that we already set boots for one of the items in the array. So let's get rid of that. And then I would build again. And now the bug would be gone. But my point is that it's trial and error. Like, it's trial and error. Like, this is not like, it's not something that you're doing that is, like, you're not writing this and thinking about it in your head, like when you do the assignments for a code test, like the interview tests. Because whenever I was debugging, I would just build. Is it fixed? No. I'd go back. I'd try something different. Build. Is it fixed? And of course, obviously, there's some things that you can just figure out without having to build the app. Like, there's times where I would just build the entire app and I would know, like, oh, okay, the bug is this. I looked at the code. I looked at what the problem was. And then I would already know, because I've done so many things, that I would know, like, what's wrong without having to build the app. But if it was a tricky bug, I would just build it multiple times. And this is the reason why I said that the interviews aren't realistic, because in a realistic scenario, at least for an iOS developer, you have what you're working on in front of you. Like, I'm not a server engineer. I'm not a web engineer. I'm literally building on a phone. Does that make sense? Like, in the past, I've seen people that were server engineers, right? And they would be working on a bug, but when you're working on a bug that's on the server, you can't see, there's no visual representation of the bug. You have to just figure it out. You're looking at a black screen. You might be able to look at the logs and see, oh, okay, like, let me add some print statements and stuff here to see what's going on. But it's not the same as working as an app developer, because as an app developer, it's very visual. That's the reason why I wanted to be an app developer. I didn't want to be a server developer or a web developer or any of those other bullshits, because they're not as visual as being a mobile developer. Mobile developer, you have what you're building right in front of you. It's very easy to fucking test it out and see if it's working or not, because you can see it with your own two eyes. And you're not looking at a boring black screen all day. Like, I don't want to sit there all day looking at a terminal. I don't want to sit there all day looking at a screen that looks like this and writing code in this stupid fucking black screen and then having to put, like, logs to see what's going on. That's boring to me. That's boring to me. This is fun. This can be fun. Like, if we add some animations in this and some other like, this can be fun. Like, it's very visual. You can see what you're doing. It's entertaining. It's easy to debug. That's the reason why I wanted to become a mobile developer. Does that make sense? Is anybody even listening to me? Am I even talking to anybody, or am I talking to myself? I gotta go back and look. That was gross. Homie had a bunch of shit on his face. Nobody even told me. I'm gonna have to delete this VOD. L streamer, guys. And L audience for not telling me that I had shit on my face. Crap. Nobody's watching anyway, though, so it doesn't even matter. I don't even care. Fuck it. Okay, it wasn't there the whole time. It must have just happened, like, a moment when I touched my nose. Yo, L audience, guys, what are you guys even doing? I'm over here giving you guys a crash course on app development from scratch for free. And y'all niggas ain't even in here. Nobody's in here. That's crazy. I'm not going to complain about it, though. I'm going to end. I hope at least one person watches this VOD back and learns something. Yeah. Hopefully somebody learns something. I don't know if they will. Niggas are convinced that they don't want to learn anything. They want to keep working at McDonald's. Anyways, on the next session, we'll be adding the data to this screen. and we'll be adding the logic so that it passes that data to the next screen. And then we'll do something more advanced. Maybe we'll delete this app probably, and we'll try and build a more complex app. And then we'll just do what I used to do before. We'll just look for real apps and we'll just replicate them. That's what I did when I was first learning how to code. I would go look at an app, Instagram, and I would build Instagram. I'd go look at Robinhood, build Robinhood. Look at Facebook, build Facebook. And if you do that, you'll get really good at coding because you're working on actual projects, right? You got to figure stuff out. You got to brainstorm. That's the only way you learn how to do this. You got to learn by doing. Anyways. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. I'm out. Peace.